From Omni Search Labs in Rhode Island, you're listening to Omnipresence. I'm Chris.
And I'm Cheryl. We're your guides from the Omni Search Labs digital marketing team.
Join us as we unravel the latest from the OSL blog.
And walk you through the latest news and information on how to optimize your business for AI and search engines.
So the end of 2025, it really felt like a seismic event for anyone doing business online.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, those massive Google algorithm updates that rolled out in October, for small and medium businesses, especially right here in Rhode Island, it wasn't just another update. It was a fundamental shift.
It really
We
is.
saw so much volatility, sudden drops, sudden gains. And today, our mission is really to translate those, highly technical shifts into a clear, actionable playbook.
And that volatility, especially around the core update that hit, October 15th, it signaled something critical. The rules of discovery have permanently changed. The message from Google is, while it's loud and clear, they are moving away from rewarding businesses that focus on volume or shortcuts or, optimization tricks.
And moving towards.
Strongly prioritizing genuine, demonstrated quality, reputability, and I think most importantly, content focused entirely on meeting specific user intent.
Okay, let's unpack this core quality shift first, because that feels like the foundation.
It is.
The big takeaway seems to be that Google is finally making good on years of promises to reward trustworthy content.
While effectively neutralizing manipulative tactics.
Yep.
For the last decade, it felt like the search results were just cluttered.
Right, cluttered with pages designed by machines for machines.
And the reason this update was, I think, so successful is partly due to the rapid advancement in large language models. Google's AI is now just so sophisticated.
You can tell the difference.
It can distinguish with a frightening accuracy between content written by a human expert sharing real experience
And the other stuff.
and the scaled low-value content generated purely to fill space or game a specific keyword.
So what exactly did they penalize? What were those weak points that suddenly collapsed?
Well, they targeted a few specific content types. First, low-value or thin content. The stuff that lacks originality or depth.
So 1,000 words on a topic, but nothing new to say.
Exactly. That's now a liability. Second, they cracked down hard on duplicate or scaled content.
This is where a business might create, 50 slightly different landing pages for every town?
Yeah, all serving up essentially the same minimal information. Google sees that as redundant, low effort.
The old geo-spamming approach.
Precisely. And the third major penalty area was keyword stuffing. Tactics that clearly sacrifice user experience for ranking.
Forcing best plumbing service Providence, Rhode Island affordable into every third sentence.
You know the type. So the businesses that adapted quickly, they realized if their content reads like a human expert wrote it, to genuinely solve the problem.
They gained a massive competitive advantage, almost overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So what this really means then is that content must be fundamentally written for the actual customer first.
Right. Establish your substance, your authority.
And then worry about the optimization part.
Which is why the next big development from this update is so critical for making that strategic shift.
You're talking about query groups in Search Console.
I am.
This is where it gets really interesting for me, because historically, a business owner had to wade through hundreds of individual search terms.
It's overwhelming, just a sea of data that doesn't connect.
And query groups, this new feature, it automatically clusters similar search queries together based on what the user was actually trying to do, their intent.
It's a massive efficiency upgrade. I mean, instead of manually tracking 50 slightly different keywords.
You see that they all fall into maybe 3 meaningful themes.
Exactly. One cluster might be troubleshooting and repair, another could be cost and pricing, and a third maybe local immediate service.
That feature immediately highlights your main content pillars.
And, more importantly, it reveals the critical gaps where your current content isn't addressing a whole category of customer need.
Let's use that Rhode Island plumbing company example again, but let's go deeper on the strategy.
Okay. So before query groups, they saw, say, 15 keywords about emergency service.
Right.
Now, those are all clustered together, and the group tells them the intent is urgent local access.
The temptation might be to create a separate page for every single query in that cluster, right?
Yeah.
That's the old way of thinking.
Exactly. And that's the mistake that the October update penalized. If the underlying intent is the same, urgent service creating 3 thin competing pages is inefficient.
So the strategic move is to consolidate.
Yes. You optimize one comprehensive, high-quality 24-hour emergency service page that fully satisfies that entire intent cluster.
It should have what? A big clickable phone number?
A huge phone number, clear service areas in Providence and Warwick, maybe even a guaranteed response time. You cover everything.
And the data really validates this shift toward intent matching over keyword matching.
It does.
After the October updates, some research showed that only 5.4% of Google's AI overviews, the generated summaries, contained an exact match to the user's query.
The AI understood the context and the intent, not just the words.
So that raises a big question for every SMB owner. If keyword research is becoming less important, how do I strategically target this new world of intent?
Well, we break it down into 4 main intent types that every successful business has to address.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's informational intent. The user is looking for knowledge, for answers.
What's the best sealant for my deck in this New England weather?
Perfect example. Your content needs to provide detailed expert guides for that. Second is navigational.
They know where they want to go.
Yeah.
Driving directions to the nearest coffee roaster in Pawtucket.
Or the phone number for the Warwick accountant. It's heavily reliant on accurate local data.
Third is transactional. They're ready to buy.
Ready to book, ready to purchase, low in the funnel, book a haircut today, buy a ticket for the Block Island Ferry.
That content needs clear calls to action, fast checkout.
And the fourth, which is just vital for high-value services, is commercial investigation.
This is the research phase.
Yep. The customer isn't ready to buy yet, but they are evaluating options, comparing providers, vetting quality.
Compare costs of roofing contractors in East Providence, that kind of thing.
And your content needs to satisfy that with comparison charts, transparent pricing, solid social proof. You have to help them make a decision.
And satisfying commercial investigation intent?
Yeah.
That brings us directly to the foundation of trust.
It does. It brings us to EEAT.
EET, and let's remind everyone, we pronounce it as the individual letters, EEAT.
Not ET, right?
It's the framework of experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And the October updates basically reinforce that demonstrating this is no longer optional.
It is mission critical. Google's algorithms are now heavily biased toward content that proves you actually know what you're talking about.
Not just summarizing what other people have said.
Right. A lot of businesses struggle to differentiate between the 4 E's, though.
Let's break them down. Let's make them actionable. Say for a local financial advisor.
Okay.
Let's start with experience. This is the requirement for firsthand, real-world proof.
So the advisor shouldn't just write a generic post about market volatility.
Exactly. They should write about a specific market event they successfully guided clients through, offering insights gained from that lived experience. It's the, I've done this.
Okay, so that's distinct from expertise, which is possessing the relevant skills and knowledge.
Yes. For the financial advisor, this is their CPA license, their certifications, the deep technical knowledge they show when discussing complex tax code changes. It's the I know this.
Now, a lot of businesses stop there, but they miss authoritativeness.
Which is the external recognition.
Yeah.
Expertise is internal, authoritativeness is external.
So has that advisor been cited in the local business journal?
Do they speak at Chamber of Commerce events? Are they seen as a go-to source in their niche? It's the others recognize me for this.
That makes sense. It separates a great solo operator from a true community resource. And finally, trustworthiness.
Which you've argued is the cornerstone.
I think it is. It's fundamental. Does your website use HTTPS? Is your contact info clear and accurate?
Are you transparent about fees? Are your hours correct everywhere?
All of it. After these updates, if Google finds conflicting or inaccurate information about your business across the web, your entire EEAT profile suffers.
So for Rhode Island businesses, building this authority means sharing your genuine, boots-on-the-ground story.
Yes, and publishing content that reflects your actual expertise in the New England market. And crucially, actively encouraging satisfied customers to review you on Google.
Because those positive recent reviews feed directly into that trustworthiness score.
Which Google highly values for local rankings.
And that trustworthiness score is absolutely foundational for local competitive advantage.
Which brings us to local SEO.
Right. We know that over half of all Google searches have some form of local intent. If you're a local SMB, you can't afford to overlook this.
It all starts with the Google Business Profile, your GBP.
The October updates really enhanced visibility for businesses that have fully, complete, verified, and well-reviewed profiles.
If your photos are outdated or your service area is undefined, You're sacrificing visibility. It's that simple.
And we need to get smarter about content localization.
How so?
Instead of broadly writing about general business consulting, create hyper-local, specific content like operational efficiency consulting for manufacturers in Pawtucket and East Providence.
That signals surgical relevance to Google and the customer.
But here's the curveball. Search has moved beyond just Google.
And that's why we're now talking about SEO.
SEO, right. Search everywhere optimization.
Yeah. The critical realization from the past year is that people now search on AI answer engines. They search on marketplaces like Amazon or Etsy.
Use voice assistants, social platforms like TikTok or Instagram to find service providers.
Your content strategy has to be multimodal.
Voice search is a perfect example, especially here in New England, where we rely so much on directions and local recommendations.
The stat is, 76% of voice searches have local intent?
That's it. People asking their smart devices, where's the nearest reputable bakery open now?
Or, how do I find a handyman available this weekend in Newport?
So optimizing for voice means restructuring your content.
You need to use natural conversational language in your FAQs and blog posts. You have to anticipate how a person actually speaks to Alexa or Siri.
Not how they would type into a search box.
Right. Think in complete questions and direct answers.
And then there's visual search. This is accelerating so rapidly.
Customers using Google Lens to snap a picture of a kitchen renovation they saw.
Trying to find the Cranston contractor who did the job.
Or the exact product they saw in a boutique. It means high-quality images are no longer just a nice-to-have, they're a discovery tool.
And they must be properly tagged, with descriptive alt text that explains what the image is and why it matters.
Not just kitchen photo, but custom marble countertop installation by a Providence contractor.
Okay, so as we embrace these new modes of discovery, we have to talk about AI collaboration.
We do. We saw a clear finding. 94% of small businesses using AI report a positive impact.
And the key here is that AI should not be viewed as a threat to human expertise, but as a powerful, necessary tool to amplify it.
Precisely. If you are a genuine expert, AI can handle the repetitive, tedious parts of content creation.
Like what?
It can generate content outlines based on your query group data. It can analyze competitors to spot missing content. It can personalize website experiences or rapidly optimize headlines for better click-through rates.
So it's about leveraging technology to let your human EEAT shine through brighter and faster and across more channels.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Let's apply these insights now to two sectors that are really the backbone of the Rhode Island and New England economy.
Building and construction trades and hospitality tourism.
Okay, for construction trades, the builders, the roofers, electricians in places like Pawtucket or Fall River, their focus has to be dominating commercial investigation intent.
Customers are making high-stakes, long-term decisions.
So query groups are essential here. A tradesman needs to see if customers are mostly looking for informational content.
Like, best time of year to replace a roof in New England.
Or transactional content, like request a quote for foundation repair.
And their website needs to be a fortress of EEAT evidence. Detailed portfolios, clear licensing credentials, videos demonstrating their process.
If a customer searches for reliable home builder near Narragansett, the business that ranks needs more than just a contact form.
They need transparent case studies showing experience, authoritativeness through local awards or community involvement.
Okay, switching to hospitality and tourism, especially around hyper-competitive areas like Newport, Block Island, or Westerly.
For them, SEO is paramount. A restaurant or a boutique hotel can't just rely on someone typing their name into Google.
They have to be visible on local directories, on TripAdvisor, Yelp, social media.
Right. People are searching for experiences while they're literally walking around town. Their high-quality images have to be optimized for visual search to capture those tourists.
And of course, their hours, menus, and locations must be consistent everywhere for voice search accuracy.
And if we see a tourism query group clustered around, say, family activities near Newport,
the hotel needs a comprehensive guide that satisfies that full intent, linking out to attractions, showing their expertise not just as a place to sleep, but as a local resource.
The success stories we're seeing now, they're from businesses that took the October volatility seriously and focused on substance over shortcuts.
They're building genuine digital assets that serve their customers, not just the algorithm.
This has been a lot of information on a pretty massive shift.
It has. So before we give you the final action items, here's a provocative thought for you to explore.
Ooh.
If AI can understand user intent, without needing a single exact keyword match. How fundamentally soon will the entire concept of traditional keyword research, just focusing on the words themselves, become obsolete?
It shifts the focus entirely back to true market understanding.
Wow,
Something to think about.
it is. So let's make this practical. What are the immediate, actionable steps listeners should tackle this week to start adapting?
This week, 2 critical steps. First, review and fully complete your Google business profile. Every detail, from photos to services to accurate hours, must be current and verified.
That's the bedrock for local and voice search success.
It is. Second, perform a swift audit of your website for any thin, low-quality content and either remove it or substantially improve it to demonstrate genuine value and EET.
And for the longer-term monthly actions, what should people focus on?
Access your Search Console query groups to identify those intent-based content pillars. Then, focus your human expertise on creating one comprehensive, authoritative piece of content each month that truly demonstrates EEAT.
And finally, expand your focus beyond Google to the relevant SEO platforms where your unique audience is actually searching. Here's the bottom line. The recent search updates clearly show that the path to discovery involves demonstrating true experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, EEAT, by creating intent-focused content that truly serves the customer.
If you're a business owner wrestling with this right now, the key is to prioritize your foundational local visibility right here in Rhode Island. This week, audit your Google business profile to ensure every detail, from photos to service hours, is current and accurate, because that drives both local and voice search success.
Head over to omnisearchlabs.com/blog to read the full post and grab the resource links we mentioned.
We'll be back in a few weeks with our next episode.
From OmniSearch Labs in Rhode Island, thanks for listening. Now go optimize something and be discovered.